Tonight, we're live from Paris with another special edition of Top Story. Triumph on the track at the 2024 Olympics. American Cole Hocker pulling off a stunning upset, winning gold and setting a new record. But we begin with breaking news back at home and the surprising VP pick. Vice President Kamala Harris selecting Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. The video just in of the moment she asked if he would join her on the ticket. The pair together as running mates for the first time tonight in Philadelphia as they embark on a campaign blitz. Walz, the dark horse candidate, now defining himself on a national stage. So who is he and what factored into Harris's down-to-the-wire decision? Also tonight, Debbie's devastating floods. The Southeast inundated as the deadly tropical storm stalls along the Atlantic coast. Homes underwater, cars left stranded, and communities cut off. The system setting its sights on the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Bill Karen standing by with the track and the timing. Up in flames, a fast-moving wildfire engulfing homes in San Bernardino. Firefighters battling the inferno in triple-digit temperatures. We hear from emotional residents who say the fire was unlike anything they've ever seen. Israel's underground hospital, the country bracing for war as Iran and Hezbollah vow to strike back. We'll take you inside the massive medical facility ready for patients as an all-out conflict looms. Crashing on the course. The incredible close call as a plane makes a crash landing narrowly missing a golfer and the pilot miraculously walking away virtually unharmed. Americans' Olympic upset, Team USA's Cole Hocker sprinting past expectations, claiming gold. Track star Gabby Thomas in tears as she claims the top spot on the podium. The nail-biter win for women's soccer as the U.S. punches their ticket to the finals. And the star-studded men's basketball team dominating yet again on the court. Plus, history-making medal, the Cuban wrestler breaking records, clinching a fifth straight gold, what he told me after the incredible win and the powerful moment on the mat, signaling the end of his career. And Team USA's Brittney Griner detailing what it's like leaving the U.S. for the first time after her imprisonment in Russia, how it changed her perspective on the games. Top Story starts right now. And good evening. Top Story live tonight from Paris once again as an action-packed Olympic day ends with Team USA once again on top. The U.S. raking in not just the most hardware, but now officially in the top spot for the most gold medals. We'll show you all of today's biggest moments just ahead. But first, we want to get to that breaking headline. Vice President Kamala Harris making her first major decision as the Democratic nominee, adding Minnesota's governor, Tim Walz, to the presidential ticket. Just hours after that announcement, Harris and her running mate, you see them making their big debut at their first joint rally tonight in Philadelphia.
I couldn't be prouder to be on this ticket and to help Vice President Harris become what we all know is very, very good for us to think about, next President of the United States of America.
Supporters lined up for hours to get a glimpse of the duo as they kick off their tour to several swing state cities. Their campaign releasing this video of the moment Harris asked Walz to join her.
Would you be my running mate and let's get this thing on the road?
I would be honored, Madam Vice President.
The joy that you're bringing back to the country, the enthusiasm that's out there, it'll be a privilege to take this with you across the country.
Vice President Harris had just 2 weeks to make her decision, ultimately picking the Minnesota governor in the hopes he boosts their appeal to rural and independent voters. But if you're asking, who is Tim Walz, you're not alone. A new poll finding 71% of Americans say they've never heard of the guy and don't know enough to have an opinion on him. Walz is a two-term governor who spent more than a decade in Congress and served in the Army National Guard for more than 20 years. He's also a former teacher. We're going to have much more on his background in just a moment, but we want to put this political whirlwind into context. President Biden dropped out of the race just a little over 2 weeks ago. It was just last night that Harris secured the nomination and less than 24 hours later selected her running mate. And we're less than 2 weeks away from the Democratic National Convention. There's a lot to get to this evening. We want to start tonight with NBC's Peter Alexander on the campaign trail tonight.
Tonight, the new Democratic ticket is set.
We are the underdogs in this race, but we have the momentum.
Vice President Harris here in Philadelphia for the first time side by side with her newly revealed running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
In 91 days, the nation will know Coach Walz by another name.
After a vetting process that normally takes months condensed to just 2 weeks. Sources tell NBC News Harris had very strong chemistry with Walz when they met on Sunday that played a key role in her decision that she did not make until this morning. The campaign releasing this video of their phone call.
Listen, I want you to do this with me. Let's do this together. Would you be my running mate and let's get this thing on the road?
I would be honored, Madam Vice President.
Tim Walz and I, we agree about many things, including when our middle class is strong, America is strong.
Harris sources say zeroed in on Walz as a governing partner, pointing to his 2 terms as governor and 12 years in Congress, winning a rural Trump district. He's a National Guard veteran that sources say appealed to the vice president. The Harris campaign hoping Walz's Midwest roots will help secure critical battlegrounds, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Notably, Harris picked Walz over Pennsylvania's popular moderate governor Josh Shapiro, who some leading progressives had campaigned against, in part for his past criticism of pro-Palestinian protests. The race is now on to define Walz. Trump branding Harris and Walz, who's backed progressive policies, as the most radical left duo in American history.
What it says about Kamala Harris, that when given an opportunity, she will bend the knee to the most radical elements of her party.
But tonight, former Speaker Nancy Pelosi is praising the pick.
To characterize him as left is so unreal. It's just not what the question. He's right down the middle.
Peter joins us tonight live from Philadelphia. So, Peter, Governor Walz also taking aim tonight at former President Trump. Let's take a listen.
Froze in the face of the COVID crisis. He drove our economy into the ground. And make no mistake, violent crime was up under Donald Trump. That's not even counting the crimes he committed.
All right, Peter, so a bit of an aggressive tone there. Is this going to be his role, you think, on the campaign over the next 90 days?
Well, Tom, I think tonight's speech was part biography introducing him to Americans. Notably, 7 in 10 Americans, according to a new poll, say they have never heard of Tim Walz. So there's a lot of introducing to do, but certainly there's also that responsibility, as is the tradition of a running mate, to be the attack dog of sorts. But based on my conversations and those close to Kamala Harris, they say among the details about his sort of personality that impressed them most is the idea that he is this sort of joyful warrior, and they believe that's what will resonate with a lot of Midwestern voters. Tom?
All right, and Peter, the Harris-Walz ticket is starting with a very busy schedule. Walk our viewers through what they can expect.
Yeah, well, I think that's right. In part, this was a gamble making this election because it means that Kamala Harris thinks she can win the key, crucial battleground state of Pennsylvania, where we are right now without the popular state's governor, Josh Shapiro, on the ticket. Harris and Walz begin here in Pennsylvania. Then next stop, tomorrow, back to the Midwest in Wisconsin and Michigan. Tom?
Okay, Peter Alexander leading us off here in Top Story. Peter, we thank you. And as Peter mentioned in his report there, the race is now on to define Governor Walz. So who is the Midwestern governor the vice president has picked to join her ticket? Our Gabe Gutierrez has this one tonight.
A white-haired, working-class politician from the rural Midwest, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is seen as a plain-spoken attack dog who's not shy about taking on the Republican ticket.
These guys are just weird. And you know, they're running for He-Man Women Haters Club or something.
At 60 years old, he's just 6 months older than Kamala Harris, but they're from very different backgrounds. Walz grew up in small-town Nebraska, spending summers working on the family farm. At 17, he joined the National Guard, eventually becoming a school teacher and football coach, and meeting his wife, Gwen. After moving to Minnesota, the father of 2 was elected to Congress in 2006 and ran for governor in 2018, winning in a landslide. His progressive record, now touted by Democrats, includes creating paid family medical leave, legalizing recreational marijuana, and increasing tax credits for low-income families. But Republicans have slammed other bills he signed, making undocumented immigrants eligible for driver's licenses, state-funded health care, and free college tuition at state universities. Also, in 2020, as George Floyd's killing triggered riots and looting in Minneapolis, Walz drew criticism over why it took him 3 days to call in the National Guard.
Is what it is, and I'm I simply believe that we tried to do the best we can.
But Walz also brings strong union support as Democrats look to appeal to the critical Rust Belt.
I had an opponent who thought this was a real zinger when we were going at it. He said, Governor Walz is in the pocket of organized labor. And I said, that is a damn lie. I am the pocket.
Gabe Gutierrez joins us tonight from the White House. Gabe, how is the Harris-Walz campaign responding to these attacks from former President Trump, calling him a radical leftist?
Well, Tom, they're shrugging it off. You heard Nancy Pelosi say that Walz was down the middle. Now, this all comes from the time that he was a congressional Democrat. He was seen there as being a more of a middle of the road, more of a moderate. That changed a bit when he became governor and backed some of those more progressive policies. But to give you an idea of how his political message has evolved, he used to be endorsed by the NRA when he was in Congress. But when he became governor, that dramatically changed when he backed new gun restrictions. But the Harris campaign insists that he is more middle of the road than far left, Tom.
All right, Gabe, we appreciate that. For more on Vice President Harris's running mate pick, let's bring in former Democratic Senator from North Dakota, Heidi Heitkamp, and a friend of Governor Tim Walz. Senator, great to see you tonight. Thanks for joining Top Story. You've worked in Washington, and like I mentioned, you are friends with Governor Walz. What do you think of this pick by Vice President Harris, and what should people know about Governor Walz? Is he a classic Democrat? Is he a progressive? Is he a moderate?
You know, the first thing I would tell you is that he is the authentic deal. He's the real deal. He knows who he is. He knows why he believes what he believes. And I think that she picked him because she knows that he won't falter in the face of a fight, that he'll be out there speaking the truth as he sees it, as she sees it. And I think it was a really smart pick. I don't think she had a bad pick, by the way. I think she could have picked any one of the final three candidates and been just fine. But I think what she's basically saying is, if we believe that voices of different places should be in the halls of Congress, should be in decision-making places like the White House, then let's bring somebody with a completely different life experience from mine, but the same goals for the country. And so I think that this is an amazing match, and I think it's going to be a very, very powerful ticket for the Democratic Party.
The race is on for the election. The race is also on to define Governor Walz. I want to talk more about his record. There's a headline tonight in the Washington Post. I want to put it up for our viewers because this is essentially what the ticket's going to go against, right? It says, socialist versus social studies teacher, GOP Democrats battle to define Walz. I also want to play this soundbite. It's something that Republicans are putting out there on social media. Let's talk about it on the back end. Let's roll that.
And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
So, Senator, I rolled that because, you know, Republicans want voters to hear that. If you'll remember back in 2020, the word socialism really hurt Democrats in the primary, right? It actually helped Joe Biden become president because Democrats sort of coalesced around him because of that socialist label that really hurt them in states like Florida. Is this going to come back to haunt this ticket?
You know, I think the important thing is to put a vice presidential pick in perspective. Every day that they're talking about vice president nominee Walz, they aren't talking about Kamala Harris. And that's a missed opportunity on the Republicans' part. There will be a couple days of examining his record, just as you saw with J.D. Vance, and then it'll quickly transition. But the point is that I just think it's so interesting how they define progressive. I mean, if you think paid family leave isn't popular, or protecting women's reproductive rights isn't a majority position in this country, you haven't been paying attention. And so a lot of what he has promoted has been pro-family. And what I think he's saying in that clip is that when we are generous, when we promote the American family, we all do better. And yeah, it may be unfortunate use of the word socialism, but let me tell you, when you dig down and you look at his record, it is one of helping the middle class. And I think that's why she picked him.
Finally, Senator Heitkamp, an NPR poll was released before the announcement. Let's put it up here for our viewers so they can see it one more time. 71% of people polled said they didn't know who Tim Walz is, right? Here it is right here. Never heard of the guy. 71%, 17 favorable, 12% unfavorable. Is there enough time in these 90 days to get his name out there and for people to like him and maybe help the Harris ticket?
Well, I think he's going to help the Harris ticket in those pockets that she's going to send him, which is into rural America, where he can speak the language of rural America. But let me tell you, if you put those numbers up on Josh Shapiro, you know, you probably get the same amount. If you put him up on a Supreme Court justice, you'd probably only get 50% of the people recognizing the name. It shouldn't surprise anyone that he's not a household name. But I think the viral videos of him and his daughter, of him in his backyard, those are the things that are going to speak to the authenticity and the genuineness of Tim Walz. And that's what's going to define him right out of the box, not all of the stuff the Republicans are pushing out.
Senator Heitkamp, I'm sure we're going to talk a lot in the next 90 days. We thank you so much for telling us about your friend, Governor Tim Walz. Okay, we want to turn now to the weather and Tropical Storm Debby turning into a slow-motion flooding disaster. Inching its way through the southeast, dumping massive amounts of rain and leaving so many communities underwater, including Charleston, South Carolina, where the worst is ahead. We have a team of reporters all up and down the track. Maggie Vespa is one of them that's there for us tonight.
Tonight, Debbie's deluge unleashed on America's southeast coast.
It's as bad as I've seen it.
In Florida, floodwaters swallow huge chunks of Sarasota, while nearby officials and a Good Samaritan rescue a woman from a submerged car, carrying her to safety. The deadly tropical storm now slamming South Carolina and Georgia, dumping up to 14 inches of rain since Sunday night, with several cars left stranded after water rescues there.
My wife was like, maybe we should pack the car and get out of here because we have a 3-month-old at home.
The rain set to fall for days in what some fear will mark a once-in-a-1,000-year rain event.
Lots of whitecaps out on the Charleston Harbor. You can see how choppy the water is, and heavy bands of wind and rain have just been rolling in throughout the morning.
Just outside of Charleston, several tornadoes were reported overnight. Here's Erin McLaughlin.
And one of those tornadoes hit this Arby's restaurant, and this is what's left. The insides of the restaurant completely gutted. Tables, chairs, glass, bits of insulation scattered about the parking lot. This restaurant's completely destroyed.
The system moving at a stubbornly slow 5 miles per hour, a more common occurrence amid our climate crisis.
Bottom line is we need you to stay home until this passes.
Priscilla Thompson is in Georgia.
Here in Savannah, the ground is so saturated, it has caused this sidewalk to buckle, toppling this massive tree, sending it crashing into this car and leaving the road here impassable.
The storm is responsible for at least 6 deaths, 5 of them in Florida, with Debbie's wrath slated to last for days.
All right, Maggie Vespa joins Top Story live tonight from Charleston, South Carolina. Maggie, I'm seeing your live shot here for the first time now. Obviously, a lot of water on the ground there. What else are the conditions like where you are right now? What's the big concern?
Yeah, Tom, it's been a rare break in the rain for today. Obviously, it's not raining right now. But what's interesting about this storm and kind of how it's morphed throughout the day is that when it does rain, it is intense. And it's really kind of concentrated in pockets of the city, which causes flash flooding like on the road. What you're seeing behind me here, low-lying roads like this have kind of been flooding and receding throughout the day. And it's gotten so bad and so chaotic across Charleston that the mayor once again extending the curfew citywide because of this storm through tomorrow morning. Tom.
Okay, Maggie Vespa. For more on the tropical storm and Debbie's path, NBC News meteorologist Bill Cairns joins us tonight. Bill, I know we said yesterday we'd be talking every day. This thing almost looks bigger than it looked like yesterday.
Bigger but not stronger. So the heavy rain is more scattered than at this time yesterday, but it's still causing a lot of problems, especially in South Carolina. All day today, this thing was walking through Savannah. Right now, it's moving at 3 miles per hour. There's still a lot of rain around the outside of it, but the middle has gotten so weak that there's no real strong convection or thunderstorms. There's no eye or anything like that. But the bands of rain that have been spiraling around this thing are now really hitting inland areas hardest, especially the upstate area of South Carolina, a couple heavy bands on the Carolina coast. About 16 million people are under flood watches from this thing, and we still expect, as we drift the storm through the next 48 hours, we could get an additional 6 to 10 inches. These are some areas that have already had about a foot of rain, so that's why it's going to be even easier to get additional flash flooding problems, and eventually we'll start having more river flooding problems too. Then as the storm's going to head up the coast, we have a very heavy rain event. All the New York City airports are shut down right now. Thunderstorms are through the area. So this is that rainfall from tonight, plus Debby on Friday into Friday night. That's going to go all the way through the Northeast. I do not like to see mountainous areas in the Northeast that are supposed to get a quick 4 to 6 inches of rain. That has flash flooding written all over it. So here's the forecast path from the Hurricane Center. It drifts till tomorrow afternoon, and then tomorrow afternoon it begins to accelerate and head northwards. Thursday, heading into areas of North Carolina. Thursday night, heavy rain moving through Virginia. Friday morning around Washington, D.C. Then by Saturday afternoon, it exits up into Canada. It's not going to have any winds to worry about. It's going to be all about the rainfall forecast. And you'll notice these spiraling bands. That's Wednesday. Then as we go through Thursday, all through the Carolinas, and then eventually into Virginia. So, Tom, we still have 3 more days of tracking flash flooding with this storm.
And we know you'll be there every step of the way for our viewers. All right, Bill, we thank you for that. We want to move on now to California, where a fast-moving brush fire ripped through a San Bernardino neighborhood. Crews mostly containing the blaze now, but forced to battle the flames in triple-digit temperatures. Here's David Noriega with the story.
Tonight, San Bernardino reeling after a fast-moving brush fire ripped through a hillside neighborhood.
Hey, get out of there! Go!
The Edge Hill fire exploding Monday in a matter of minutes, destroying multiple properties and reducing entire homes to ashes.
What I saw was a devastation to our community. We have families who do not have their homes anymore. You could just feel the pain walking through the site.
Crews battling the flames from land and air as temperatures reached more than 105 degrees.
We've been evacuated 3 times before, but this was something I've never seen before.
Joanne Grande is a San Bernardino native. She's seen wildfires sweep through this area her entire life, but she says this one felt different.
You could hear everything cracking and pops going off and explosions, and the ash was so bad.
Her family's home was spared, but some of her neighbors were not so lucky.
My heart breaks for our neighbors with little kids, and yeah, I am lucky, but it's not a good feeling.
Luckily, no residents killed or injured, but some families losing beloved pets, like Erica Hernandez, who lost her 3 dogs.
And we had almost 11 years with our oldest dog and about 3-4 years with our other dog. And one of our other dogs was a rescue.
Fire officials say the Edge Hill fire is 75% contained, and evacuation orders have been lifted. But they warn that fire season in hot, dry, and windy California is far from over. David Noriega, NBC News.
All right, we thank David for that. We want to turn now to our special coverage of the Olympic Games. Here in Paris, it was a historic day for Team USA. Track and field athletes once again smoking the competition, taking home gold in the 200 and 1500-meter races. The youngest American female wrestler also nabbing a gold medal. And star-studded basketball and soccer teams moving on, setting up a thrilling few days to come.
The world champion is in front, but Cole Hocker's not done with yet.
Tonight, American Cole Hocker pulling off possibly the most shocking upset of the 2024 Olympics.
Cole Hocker wins gold!
Running the race of his life in the men's 1500 meter.
Cole Hocker stepped up to the challenge.
Passing the reigning world and Olympic champions in the final seconds to claim gold, all while setting an Olympic record.
It's a gold bronze for Team USA.
His teammate Yared Nuguse fighting his way into third in the final paces to win bronze. The first time in 112 years 2 Americans have medaled in the event. American sprinter Gabby Thomas finally golden. The superstar easily taking the 200 meters to win her first Olympic race.
And Smith might get there. Smith does get there.
And now the U.S. women's soccer team staring down its chance for gold, advancing to the finals after forward Sophia Smith scored a thrilling goal on Germany in extra time.
And Germany can scarcely believe that they didn't conjure an equalizer there.
Goalie Alyssa Nair denying a point with an incredible last-minute save, keeping the Americans' dream of winning their first gold medal since 2012 alive.
Here in Paris, the Bercy Arena has been transformed from gymnastics to basketball. The hardwood is down, the hoops are up. Simone and Suni got gold inside this arena. Now it's time for LeBron and Steph to do the same.
James on tax and finishes.
The all-star packed men's team starting off strong in the knockout round.
It's Tatum flying through the air
with an easy victory over Brazil. The four-time defending gold medalist heading into the semifinal against Serbia on Thursday.
The United States a 4-3 leads.
The U.S. women's water polo team also one step closer to the podium after defeating Hungary in their quarterfinal face-off as they hunt for a history-making fourth gold in a row.
That's it. The Swiss have beaten the Americans.
And over at the Eiffel Court Stadium, women's beach volleyball duo Kelly Cheng and Sarah Hughes say goodbye to Paris after a heartbreaking loss to Switzerland.
Oh, here we go.
In the women's hammer throw, Annette Echikuwoke finishing in second to bag the United States' first ever medal in the event.
A new Olympic record and a new world record.
Blink and you might miss it. In speed climbing, Team USA's Sam Watson ascending the wall in 4.75 seconds in the opening qualifier, a new world record and the fastest time recorded in any event at the Olympic Games.
America, meet your latest Olympic gold medalist.
And a remarkable win for 20-year-old Amit Elor, who is now the youngest Olympic wrestling champion in U.S. history, winning the gold medal in the women's 68-kilogram freestyle competition.
I am in disbelief. This has been my dream for my whole entire life, and I'd have to say today has been the best day of my whole entire life. You know, I woke up this morning and I kept telling myself, believe in yourself. Today is your day. Today is your day. You will become an Olympic champion. You can do it. You can do it.
What would you say to all the girls out there who maybe, you know, for one reason or the other, they're not wrestling? What would you tell them?
You know, growing up, I was often teased for wrestling. You know, people would tell me, why do you do that? Wrestling is gross. You roll around on the mat with sweaty boys. But I have to tell you that wrestling is so much more than that. Wrestling has given me confidence. It's taught me not to give up. It's taught me to believe in myself.
Congrats to Amit and all of the Olympians from Team USA medaling tonight. We're going to have much more from Paris later in this show. Still ahead tonight, the escalating crisis in the Middle East, Israel preparing for retaliatory attacks from Iran and Hezbollah, and an up-close look at a hospital built underground as the region faces the threat of a wider war. Plus, one of America's most wanted fugitives captured now in Mexico after 2 decades on the run. The job in law enforcement he had when he was caught. And close call, the moment as a small plane, look at this, crash lands on a golf course, barely missing a golfer. What the pilot says happened. Stay with us. Top story just getting started right here from Paris on this busy Tuesday night. We are back with a live look at a beautiful night here in Paris. We're going to have much more on the Olympics later in this broadcast, but now I want to send it back to Yasmin Vesuvian in our top story studio with a look at the day's other headlines, including the U.S. fugitive captured in Mexico. Yasmin, good evening.
Good evening, Tom. Thank you. Let's take a look at Top Stories news feed. A U.S. fugitive known as the Devil, captured after 20 years in Mexico. Antonio Riano, wanted for shooting a man to death outside an Ohio bar in 2004. Authorities found him working as a police officer in his hometown in Mexico. Riano at the top of the Butler County, Ohio's most wanted list, and even featured on the show, America's Most Wanted. A golfer lucky to be alive after a small plane made an emergency landing on a golf course. Heart-stopping new video showing the moment a small plane skids through the course in Sacramento before narrowly missing that golfer. The pilot reporting a mechanical failure while 400 feet off the ground. Miraculously, the pilot walking away with only a cut on his hand. No other injuries reported. And Michael Bloomberg giving $600 million to the endowments of 4 historically black medical schools. According to Bloomberg Philanthropies, the donations will more than double the size of 3 of the school's endowments. The charity says almost half of black doctors graduate from the 4 schools set to receive funds. The gifts among the largest private donations to any historically black college or university. All right, now to the charges tonight in a murder-for-hire plot, possibly targeting former President Donald Trump. Federal prosecutors saying a Pakistani national tried to organize an assassination attempt against a U.S. official or politician, turning over $5,000 to undercover agents. The new evidence tonight, including the cocktail napkin where the suspect outlined the plot. Kendall Lanyon has more.
His name is Asif Raza Merchant, a 46-year-old Pakistani national who had spent time in Iran, and tonight faces federal charges over a murder-for-hire scheme targeting a politician or U.S. government official. This handwritten note, now evidence. It's where the charges say Merchant wrote down code words to discuss the assassination plans with a confidential source in New York City. Prosecutors say he later handed over $5,000 in cash. A senior law enforcement official tells NBC News former President Donald Trump was a potential target of the plot, possibly retribution for the 2020 U.S. killing of a general in Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard.
For years, the Justice Department has been working to aggressively counter Iran's brazen and unrelenting efforts to retaliate against American government officials for the killing of General Soleimani.
Merchant was arrested the day before the attempted assassination of Mr. Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. And while his plot is not believed to be connected to that shooting, it is part of the reason the Secret Service detail around the former president had been increased. Merchant was trying to leave the country on the day he was arrested. The hitmen he thought he was hiring were actually undercover law enforcement agents. Yasmin?
Thank you to Ken for that. Now to Top Stories Global Watch and the latest on the escalating conflict in the Middle East. Hamas naming the architect of the October 7th massacre as its new political leader, as Israel is bracing for retaliation from both Hezbollah and Iran. Tonight, NBC international correspondent Raf Sanchez takes us inside the world's largest fortified underground hospital in the world, preparing in the event of an all-out war.
Tonight, explosive Hezbollah drones piercing Israel's airspace. One crashing down on this highway. 19 civilians and soldiers injured, according to Israeli authorities. Israeli jets striking back in southern Lebanon and causing sonic booms over Beirut. But fears rising, this may only be a skirmish before a much deadlier battle to come. Hezbollah and its Iranian backers vowing revenge on Israel after last week's killing of a senior Hezbollah commander in Beirut and the assassination of Hamas's political chief in Tehran. Hamas tonight announcing that Yahya Sinwar, the architect of the October 7th attack, will take over as their new top leader. Israel says this video shows Sinwar in the tunnels below Gaza, where they've pledged to find him and kill him. But for now, Israel's military is bracing for potential all-out war with Iran and its allies. And so is the country's healthcare system. Rambam is northern Israel's biggest hospital. Beneath it, an ordinary-looking parking lot. But in just hours, it can be converted into the world's largest fortified underground medical facility. 2,200 hospital beds filling spaces where cars once parked, ready to treat patients below ground while war rages above.
Basically, we are deserting the above-ground hospital, and everybody comes into this floor.
Professor Michael Haberthal is the Director General of Rambam.
And you have to understand that the reference scenario that we have to give solution to is a war of about 60 days with missiles falling around us. And this is not Hamas missile, this is Hezbollah missile, much more powerful, much more accurate, every 4 minutes for 60 days.
Rambam isn't yet in emergency mode, but it's on high alert and started moving beds underground after the October 7th attack. Some dialysis patients are already being treated down here. Planners imagine 8,000 patients, staff, and their families living underground.
You can go in and have a shower.
There's a classroom for teaching kids and operating tables for the war wounded.
So if a war breaks out and there are mass casualties, there could be life-saving operations happening right here.
The director shows us the bunker command center.
Oh, wow. Basically, we run all the operation from here.
Monitoring patient numbers and their conditions, communicating with the army and government, and potentially watching the devastation above ground.
We have the capabilities, we have the solutions, and this is for us to fulfill the mission.
Planning for a war that feels closer every day.
Raf Sanchez joining us now from Tel Aviv. Raf, good to talk to you. You mentioned in your piece the mastermind of the October 7th attack has now become Hamas's political chief. What could that mean for the ongoing ceasefire negotiations?
Well, Yasmin, Yahya Sinwar is a hardliner. He was Hamas's Gaza chief. He's the man who gave the order to attack on October 7th. And now, following that assassination in Tehran, he is the group's political chief. He is the undisputed leader of Hamas. And we should say that because he is the senior figure inside Gaza, he's the one who physically has the hostages in his custody. He has been the key decision maker for Hamas for a long time now. But now he has even fewer reasons to listen to those relatively moderate, if you will, voices from the political wing, voices that might be more open to a ceasefire. We should say there are real questions about whether Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu wants a ceasefire. A lot of the families of the Israeli hostages are deeply concerned that he may not. And so at this point, it feels, with hardliners on both sides of these negotiations and with this Iranian missile attack looming, that any ceasefire is a long, long way away. Yasmin.
Thank you, Taraf Sanchez. Appreciate that. When we come back, Tom is live from Paris, the U.S. women's soccer team securing their spot in the finals, the incredible overtime goal, extending their Olympic winning streak, and what we can expect from the gold medal match. Stick with us.
And Smith might get there. Smith does get there. And Germany have been speared by the Trident.
Back now on Top Story. That was the go-ahead goal that gave the U.S. women's national team their first chance at Olympic gold since 2012. Sophia Smith nailing home that stunner in extra time to defeat Germany 1-0. For more on the United States women's national team and the big day for Team USA across the board, I'm joined tonight by our friend NBC sports commentator Catherine Tappan. Catherine, great to have you again on Top Story. This one was a close one for the U.S. women's national team. The second game in a row like this to go into extra time. But once again, one of the young forwards, Sophia Smith, stepping up and getting it done. This feels like a different U.S. women's national team than what we've seen lately. What stood out for you in this match?
I mean, boy, Tom, you nailed it right there. It is a very different team, but I think, you know, when you look at the last two games, extra time needed against Japan, extra time needed against Germany, and we're just seeing this team continue to crank out their attrition, their legs. They're so tired, but they find a way to win, which is exactly the recipe that Emma Hayes has instilled in this group from a young age. And you talk about Sophia Smith, a young star. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing contributions from so many of the stars on this team, and we're really getting to learn about them for the first time. You know, this is a very new group, new faces, but they have come together, and that goal from Sophia Smith was huge, but so too was the save right at the end of the game from Alyssa Nair. Just unbelievable to keep Team USA up 1-0 and able to move on to the gold medal match. It's just amazing. It's been fun to watch, but something about them, they've come together as a group. You hear them all saying the right things. They're spending their practice days and their days off doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're getting their rest. They're training properly. And Emma Hayes, this is just a true testament to her coaching style and the fact that she's fine with the 11 players she puts on the field. She doesn't care about the rotations, the substitutions, any of that. She says, this is my group. They're going to play the full time, and, you know, we're going to find a way to get through this. And it's been fun to watch. I am so proud as an American to see that they've moved on to the gold medal game and giving this chance, you know, giving them a chance to win a gold for the first time since 2012 in London. It's been really, really neat, but winning these games in extra time, I don't know how much sleep they're getting at night, but I can imagine it's a lot with this.
Yeah, and there's so many veterans across all of Team USA that to see a young team here with the women's soccer team, it is, like you said, so fun to watch them play. Talk to our viewers about Brazil. That's who they're going to face in this gold medal match. What are their chances as far as Team USA is concerned?
Well, I honestly, I like their chances better than I liked Spain, the 2023 World Cup champions, who was the team that Brazil just knocked off a few moments ago, actually, to win that game. But Brazil, you know, you can never count Brazil out. They've looked really good playing. I think they won that game 3-0, if I'm not mistaken. It just ended while I was walking over to talk to you. But, you know, they're loaded with some fresh new talent as well. But they also have a veteran in Marta, one of the greatest players in the world. She's 38 years old. She will be coming back into this gold medal game after serving a yellow card suspension. competition. So that will be a huge boost for Brazil, something to look out for. And whether or not her contributions on the field amount to points in the game, she certainly has a presence with the fact that she's a veteran. She is a legend in Brazil in women's soccer, and she will provide a humongous spark for Brazil going into that gold medal game. But I have full confidence that the United States is prepared for that approach. And you look at the fans in attendance in this massive stadium of 59,000, and they're all waving American flags. I think the United States will have the home field advantage in that regard, and they're going to have to feed off that and do exactly what they've done all tournament long. Maybe score a couple more goals, as we saw them do earlier in the tournament, not so against Japan and Germany. But if they can continue to stick to their game plan, I think the United States has a really good chance against Brazil.
Yeah, a gold medal match right here in Europe, in France. It's going to be incredible to watch. Let's turn to some other sports. I know we don't have great news when it comes to beach volleyball and Team USA, but we do when it comes to sports like water polo. Get our viewers up to speed.
Yeah, I mean, they beat Hungary today in the quarterfinals. They will move. The Hungary, by the way, was the 2023 world champion, so they're going to move on now to the semis. The women's water polo team is going for an unprecedented 4th gold medal. They are led by their captain, Maggie Steffens, but they're also led by a young group. I was talking to Kenny Albert today, who has been calling all the women's world polo matches and water polo matches, and he was telling me there's 7 of 13 players on the roster that are first-time Olympians. So that's more than half. And so you have this youthful energy combined with the veterans. An incredible performance from Ashley Johnson, the goalkeeper in this game today to beat Hungary. But, you know, this is a team that is used to winning. They know from their veterans how to get the job done every single day. But the youthful energy, Kenny said that it feels like there's an extra level of added motivation with this group. They want to win it for the veterans. They want to get that unprecedented medal and try and continue to play well here for Team USA. So far, so good for the women's water polo team.
Catherine, you just blew my mind. I haven't had a chance to watch water polo because I've been running around covering other events. So they have Flava Flav, they're winning games, and they have Kenny Albert calling the games. I didn't know this. I got to tune in. It's like must-see TV. Finally, I do want to ask you about men's basketball.
Tom,
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, by the way, they're treading water the entire time. I mean, if you don't watch water polo and gain a new added respect for these athletes, I mean, they're literally hovering over the water, treading water, trying to douse each other and poking at each other underneath. I mean, I would never survive. So it's amazing.
Yeah, no,
these are incredible athletes.
Oh, incredible, yeah. And I really hope that they get that next gold medal because they deserve it. Yeah. I do want to talk about men's basketball. So I was down there at Bercy Arena. They've converted from gymnastics to basketball. Incredible in record time. Team USA looked awesome, right, against Brazil. I know we have Serbia coming up. Talk to our viewers about that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Serbia with their victory earlier in the day, but it was a close one and against Australia. And it was, you know, it was a hard-fought game for Serbia. But I think we saw what they have and the talent they have and how they're able to win games. I think they certainly will be a bigger test than what we just saw with Brazil. The Team USA just absolutely dominating that game. Kevin Durant surpassing Lisa Leslie as the all-time leading scorer in Team USA history is just exceptional. I think he's going for, his 4th gold medal in this one for Team USA. But, you know, the USA, there's no question. They're the dominating team. They're the favorite to win the gold. They are led by superstars. Their substitution players are superstars. Their coach is a superstar. There's no doubt. But I think Serbia is a very good team. They're a big team. They were draining the 3-ball today. So, you know, if they could give the United States a pretty good test. But I think what we've seen from this U.S. team is just, you know, there's never a doubt in their mind. They're having fun. You see a smile from ear to ear with LeBron James, 39 years old, still out there competing. And it's going to be very difficult to beat this United States team.
All right, Catherine, we thank you so much for joining Top Story tonight, as always. Coming up, an Olympics like no other for Brittney Griner, the basketball star returning to the world stage for the first time since she was released from Russian custody, how she prepared to travel overseas again, and why it was so important for her to go for gold this year. Stay with us.
Once again, the United States women's Olympic basketball team showing perfection here in Rio.
That was Team USA's women's basketball team winning gold in Rio in 2016, earning star player Brittney Griner her first gold medal. Fast forward 8 years, now Griner's looking to add a 3rd gold to the trophy case, but the road to Paris has not been easy. This is her first trip abroad since she was released from a Russian prison 2 years ago. Our Liz Croyd sits down with her to ask how she's prepared for this moment and what bringing home the gold would mean to her.
As WNBA star Brittney Griner goes for her third Olympic gold,
BG scoring.
this time is different. It's her first Olympics since her harrowing ordeal 2 years ago.
Do you think everything you've been through the past few years, that gold is going to mean even more?
Oh, 100%.
In 2022, Griner was sentenced to 9 years in a Russian prison on drug charges after officials there said they found cannabis oil in her luggage.
I made an honest mistake.
After nearly 10 months detained, Griner finally released in a high-profile prisoner exchange, much like the recent one that brought back Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and Marine veteran Paul Whelan. Paris is now the first time she's been abroad since returning home.
How have you prepared for this moment?
You know, me and my counselor, we talked a lot about it and, you know, triggering things that could happen, but then also just staying focused. You know, I'm thinking about bringing home that gold.
And waiting for her at home, wife Sherelle and their new baby son Bash, born less than a month ago.
Every minute I feel like he's popping in my head and I'm thinking about him. It's just, my world changed.
Now in Paris, winning is Griner's sole focus, even off the court, where the 33-year-old is plotting games against the men's U.S. basketball team.
The player lounge room is always fun. It's a fun time. A lot of intense Uno games. And
Wait, you and Steph Curry might be playing some Uno?
I mean, we might. He better watch out. I need to bring the Uno revenge with the draw 10 in that thing.
Sadly, no cameras allowed in there, but all eyes on Griner as she and her teammates go for gold.
What do you want people watching from home to know about Brittney Griner right now in this moment?
The BG is locked in and ready to go. I'm happy. I'm in a great place. I'm representing my country that fought for me to come back. And I'm going to represent well.
Liz Kreutz, NBC News.
All right, when we come back, a golden update here in Paris. Cuban wrestler Mijain Lopez earning his 5th consecutive gold medal, making Olympic history, and the match against his former training partner. What they both told me about the history-making moment. Stay with us. Finally tonight from Paris, Cuba's golden boy. We first told you about wrestler Mijain Lopez last week as he embarked on a record-setting 5th gold medal. Well, today, he earned that top spot on the podium, and we were right there as he did it while going up against his former training partner.
The legend of Lopez lives on.
Olympics history in Paris. 41-year-old Cuban wrestler Mijain Lopez winning his 5th consecutive gold medal.
The 5-peat complete.
And becoming the first athlete ever to win 5 Olympic gold medals in the same individual event.
¿Qué significa 5 oro y no 4 oro? ¿Qué es la diferencia para usted?
Bueno, la diferencia es el sacrificio que tiene que realizar un atleta para poder alcanzar todos esos entrenamientos y poder obtener ese resultado. Y nada, contento, ¿no? Porque se diferencia cada día más todo lo que uno hace por su familia, por su país y por toda la gente que lo sigue.
Cuba es un país de luchadores y tú eres el mejor luchador. ¿Qué tú crees que tu medalla de oro, los 5, significa para los cubanos?
Bueno, creo que eso significa algo muy grande. Creo que le dejé un legado muy importante para todos los jóvenes cubanos. Contento de haberle dejado ese legado a todos esos jóvenes.
After that match, Lopez taking off his shoes and leaving them on the mat, signaling his retirement on the world's biggest stage.
In this sport, those shoes may be impossible to fill.
Háblame de ese momento cuando quitaste tus zapatos y lo poniste ahí en el colchón de la lucha. ¿Qué estaba pensando?
Bueno, eso es un momento duro. Entregar, como decimos nosotros, nuestras armas. Creo que ya a la vez que uno entrega las zapatillas de lucha, ya está dejando atrás el camino. Y contento de que me hayan dado este alegrón de poder lograr con esas zapatillas mi 5ª medalla en unos Juegos.
It was a storybook ending for the 41-year-old phenom.
Never done before? Who knows if it'll be done again?
Lopez beating his former training partner, Yasmani Acosta, who now represents Chile in the Greco-Roman 130-kilogram final.
Es un honor ser el último que luchó con él.
La verdad que sí, la verdad es una leyenda del deporte, siempre un gusto y un placer estar luchando con el mejor.
Cuban-born Acosta became a citizen of Chile. In the past, he said it was in an effort to compete at the highest level since Lopez dominated the sport for Cuba. Despite being rivals on the mat, Acosta calling Lopez his hero.
Como un héroe para usted.
Sí, la verdad soy su fan, prácticamente, y mi ídolo prácticamente, y nada, lo disfruto mucho, la verdad que sí.
¿Qué te enseñó sobre la vida y también de la lucha?
Bueno,
La verdad que constantemente me da consejos de cómo luchar, cómo hacer. De hecho, minutos antes de pelear la semifinal me estaba dando consejos.
Lopez, who is also a 5-time world champion, has been a fixture at the Olympics for 2 decades, making his debut in 2004 in Athens and earning his first gold in Beijing in 2008, where he also carried his country's flag for the first time. His coach, Raul Trujillo, alongside him the entire time and sharing the historic victory. Mijain Lopez ending his career on top. With no doubt, he's one of the greatest wrestlers and Olympians of all time.
And we thank you for watching Top Story tonight. That does it for us. I'm Tom Llamas in Paris. We want to leave you tonight with this incredible image. A whale breaching during the women's surfing semifinals as surfers competed for Olympic gold in Tahiti. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.